6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Hassan Gilani. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has emphasized the need to exploit immense solar potential to provide low-cost electricity to farmers and save imported fuel. Speaking in National Assembly today, Shehbaz Sharif said no decision regarding export of wheat has been made. Information Minister says broad consultation process is underway for establishment of Digital Rights Protection Authority. All Parties Hurriyat Conference has appealed international community to take notice of worsening human rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. 52 Palestinians were martyred in unabated Israeli strikes in besieged Gaza during the last 24 hours. 4 mountaineers, including 2 Pakistanis, have summited the second highest peak of Himalaya region, Nanga Parbat. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif says Pakistan has immense solar energy potential and it must be exploited to provide low-cost electricity to the farmers. Presiding over a meeting of Federal Cabinet in Islamabad today, he said the Finance Ministry has been tasked to work out a business plan for solarization of 1 million tubewells in the country. The Prime Minister said 50 billion rupees have been deducted from the development budget to provide relief for 3 months to the electricity consumers using up to 200 units. He said the government has launched the solarization of 28,000 tubewells in Balochistan to save bleeding of annual 8 billion rupees. He also appreciated the Balochistan Chief Minister and other relevant ministries and departments for taking the project to the implementation stage. The Prime Minister said time is running out fast and we are racing against time. He also highlighted that Pakistan spends $5 billion on freight of exports and imports, but Pakistan National Shipping Corporation is running a fleet of just 12 ships while getting 5 billion for salaries. The Prime Minister said the government has imposed taxes on real estate sector to generate 100 billion rupees in revenue and to do away with the culture of tax evasion. He reiterated his call for the ministers to work hard and sought plans from Commerce and IT ministers to boost exports. The National Assembly was informed today that no decision regarding export of wheat has been made. This clarification was made by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif while responding to points raised by opposition benches in the House today. Shehbaz Sharif recalled that it is also part of record that sugar and wheat were first exported and then imported during the reign of PTI in the past. Earlier, responding to a calling attention notice, Minister for Parliamentary Affairs Azam Nazir Tarar informed the House that providing the best health facilities to people is priority of the government. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Ataullah Tarar has extended felicitation to Senator Syed Ali Zafar on becoming chairman of Senate Standing Committee on Information and Broadcasting. Attending a meeting of the Standing Committee, Ataullah Tarar said his ministry will extend all-out cooperation to the Standing Committee as we believe in democratic values and traditions. He said political opposition does not mean political enmity. He said there is no harm in having a dialogue with political opponents for the development and progress of the country. Information Minister informed that government has revived the health insurance scheme for journalists. He said in the first phase of the scheme, 5,000 journalists and media workers will benefit, while overall 30,000 journalists and media workers will be taken care under this scheme across the country. Ataullah Tarar said broad consultation is being undertaken for the establishment of Digital Rights Protection Authority. He said at present there is no mechanism to deal with the issues like fake videos. He said Prime Minister has constituted a cabinet committee under the chairmanship of his advisor Rana Sanaullah. He said mandate of the committee is to hold consultations with all journalist bodies, parliamentarians and political parties. President of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, will undertake a 2-day official visit to Pakistan from tomorrow. During the visit, he will hold meetings with President Asif Ali Zardari and Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif. The two sides will engage in wide-ranging discussions on areas of mutual interest to further strengthen bilateral relations. This is Radio Pakistan. The closing ceremony of 2-week-long Pakistan-United States Infantry Rifle Company Exercise 2024 was held at National Counter-Terrorism Center, Pabbi. The troops displayed high standards of professional excellence during the exercise, aimed at refining drills and procedures besides sharing counter-terrorism experiences vital for countering perpetual terrorism threat faced by both nations. The All-Parties Hurriyat Conference has expressed serious concern over the deteriorating human rights situation in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, attributing it to the presence of over 1 million occupation forces enjoying impunity while subjugating the local population. APHC spokesman Abdul Rashid Minhas, in a statement in Srinagar, said that Indian troops, paramilitary forces and police have been conducting extensive cordon and search operations and house raids. He criticized India for using its military might to suppress the legitimate demand for the right to self-determination of the Kashmiri people. He urged the international community to take note of the worsening human rights situation in IIOJK and pressurize India to resolve the Kashmir dispute. Meanwhile, authorities in IIOJK have escalated restrictions and deployed additional paramilitary troops along the Srinagar-Jammu highway. On the other hand, Indian troops continue aggressive military operations in Kulgam, Islamabad, Gandarbal, Bandipora, Baramulla, Kupwara, Katuha, Doda, Samba, Rajori and Poonch districts. People speaking to media said these operations have resulted in arbitrary arrests, property damage and torture inflicted on residents. A recent report of the New Delhi-based Confederation of Ex-Paramilitary Forces Welfare Association has revealed that a total of 1,532 suicides were recorded among Indian paramilitary forces from 2001 to 2023, with 430 occurring within the CRPF between 2014 and 2023. Over the last 5 years, 46,960 personnel from 6 Central Armed Force Police personnel resigned, highlighting significant challenges within these forces. 52 Palestinians were martyred in unabated Israeli strikes in besieged Gaza during the last 24 hours. The martyrdom toll of Palestinians in Israeli aggression on Gaza since October 7 last year has now risen to 38,295. Meanwhile, Israeli army has ordered all Palestinian civilians to leave Gaza City. The Israeli army has dropped leaflet ordering Palestinians to leave Gaza City and head south. The Secretary General of the Palestinian National Initiative, Mustafa Barghouti, says the Israeli army is trying to ethnically cleanse the whole population of Gaza City. The UN official has confirmed that about 90% of Gaza's population has been displaced. 4 mountaineers, including 2 Pakistanis, have scaled the Nanga Parbat peak of Himalaya range. According to Alpine Club of Pakistan, Dilawar Hussain and Fida Ali of Pakistan and Lahakpa Themba Sherpa and Pemba Sherpa from Nepal summited the peak. This is the first successful summit in Gilgit-Baltistan in this summer season. Meanwhile, Pakistani mountaineer Salma Masood and Dutch mountaineer Richard have been successfully rescued and shifted to Skardu. After receiving the evacuation request, the Pakistan Army immediately rescued the 2 mountaineers by helicopter. Both the mountaineers thanked Pakistan Army for taking immediate action and rescuing them in time. And finally, the weather. Hot and humid weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain with wind and thunder shower is expected in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Islamabad, Potoha region, Northeast Punjab, Kashmir and Northeast Balochistan. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.